All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, December 28th. We are traveling, but we do still have 3 NBA plays to dive into in today's video. Normally, we're going through each and every game, but when we do travel, we do kind of make a hybrid version of the video where, yeah, we can't break down each and every game. We don't have the time to do so, but we still do have 3 plays coming your way in this one. These will be the final plays. One of them, I do have a little asterisk. I'm still waiting to lock in to try and see the injury report, but nonetheless, we'll still get into that. Appreciate you guys still tuning in and checking in, even though the videos are a little bit different. I know the sound might not sound as good, the video might not sound as good, but and it's a little bit later, right? But we are on the West Coast traveling, so figure any video is better than just leaving you guys hanging in no video, right? But nonetheless, appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and dive into play number 1 here. This is the one that I said has a little bit of an injury report tied to it, okay? So keep an eye down on the pinned comment. That'll take you to the Guy Boston Sports site with my final plays, and I'll let you know when I do lock this one in. Right now, Bucks Bulls over 229.5 for plus 100 over on ESPN is something that I'm looking at. Now, I mentioned the injury report. Giannis listed as a game time decision. He's missed a few games in a row. Damian Lillard listed as a game time decision. He's missed a few days in a row. I still do like the matchup for, I guess you could say, both of these teams to run up the score. Now, they've already played a few times this season. Back in October, 133 to 122. Great, that one hit the over, right? Mid-November, 122 to 106. Now we're talking very, very slim to this margin. And then they just played 5 days ago, 112 to 91. So you might be thinking, why would we be looking at an over? They've consistently started to kind of dwindle in terms of how many points they've both scored. Well, the Bucks last time they played shot 21% from three. The Bulls shot 21% from three. This is a Bulls team that shoots 38% from three on the season. Bucks, in terms of defending that three-point line, have been not all that. That's where you want to attack the Bucks this season. They've been okay at defending the rim, but against the 3-point line, last 3 games here, 20th in the league on the whole season here, 17th. The one little trip up could be a little worrisome, 5th when they are on the road, but overall still from outside, above the break in particular is where the Bucks defensive weakness has been. This is a Bulls team that's going to shoot it at a huge clip, right? Second most points from three on the season, second most in the last 10 games from above the break, third most from the corner three, to a bunch of different positions. They're allowing plenty of three-pointers as well. Point guard, power forward, center, you name it, they're shooting it. So I do like this spot for them. I also kind of want to consider Brook Lopez, so that might be an added play. We know that he's just got off the DNB list and the DNB graveyard, I should say, and we've rolled with him, and then he ended up hitting last time. We just don't have odds for him yet, so that's a little asterisk play. It's not on the screen, but if you're listening, you hear that. We're still waiting for odds because, again, the injury report is a mess right now, but I like this over just due to the fact that I think the Bulls are going to be able to go out there and contribute, unlike they did the last time they played. Again, 112 to 91 wasn't really indicative of this Bulls team. Now, flip it over to the Bucks. Everything I said about the Bulls offense versus this Bucks offense should ring true with the Bucks versus the Bulls. You attack this Bulls defense with the three-point ball. Last 3 games here, 28th in terms of preventing points from three. At home this year, 21st, and then middle of the pack in terms of the full season. Now, you can also get to the paint against this Bulls team, which is kind of why I like the over, because if Giannis plays or if Dame plays, the Milwaukee Bucks should be able to fire from three, make their threes, and completely take it inside when they need to, right? So that seems like even better of a recipe. I considered Milwaukee team total over, but Chicago should be the team that pushes the pace here, and if they do start hitting their threes, unlike they did that last game, I think Chicago could contribute offensively. So I chose and elected to go with the full game over versus that team total, but I would say that those 3 plays still kind of kicking it around. But in terms of what I would note a final play here, barring injuries, full game over. But then I also don't mind Brook Lopez if we're taking him from threes, and then obviously Milwaukee team total just in general, because they should be able to score at both the three and the paint. But if Giannis doesn't play, there goes their paint game. If Dame doesn't play, there goes their perimeter game. One thing I will say about those injuries is that last night this is a 2.5-point spread. Now it's a 4-point spread. Maybe these guys are going to play. They've missed plenty of games in a row, but hoping they kind of reel it in, because that would definitely help this one. So this one we have not locked in yet, still waiting on some injuries there. Moving on, we do have a juiced play, but I just really like the spot here. It's the same game parlay, and I'll tell you which one I would do if you don't have the SGP ability. I do have one of these that it's a little bit harder of a line to hit, but it's a spot that I would like. But right here, Tyler Hero to make 2 threes, Duncan Robinson 2 threes, Terry Rozier to make 1 3 there. So we'll start from the back. Terry Rozier has made at least 1 3 in 6 straight games. Last time he played against his Atlanta team, which was last season, he did hit 2 threes. I have him at the 1 plus because obviously his minutes have been kind of up and down. He was playing tons of minutes earlier in the year. Him and Duncan Robinson kind of swapped, you know what I mean? And there's been games where Terry Rozier plays a bunch of minutes and then he plays barely, 20 minutes the next game. So a little bit difficult to judge his heat rotation. But what you can't have difficulty judging is taking guys to make threes against this Atlanta team. They've been dead last for damn near the entire season in terms of preventing points from the 3-point line. They've defended the rim all right, I guess you could say this year, but no matter how you want to carve this up, when they're at home full season, last 10 games, they're allowing teams to just pour it in from three. So I think that that's why we're taking these 3 guys here, as they're going to lead the team in terms of those threes attempted. So they should have the volume. Terry Rozier being just to go out there and get us one. Now we move on to Duncan Robinson here. Now this is the one that I would say, well, if you want to roll with just one of these and take his normal line, I don't mind Duncan Robinson at 2.5. We only have him 2 plus, but I don't mind him 2.5. I think he should have the volume. He's only hit 3 threes in 37% of his games this season. In his last 10 games, he's looked a little bit better. You filter down to his last 8 games, he's hit it in 6 of them. And again, it's always going to come with volume with him, right? He'll have some games where he goes 3 of 11, 3 of 10, 4 of 10. It's like, yeah, the volume's there. He's shooting 37% over these last 10 games. The volume should be there against this Atlanta team. Last time he played them, the last 2 times now, albeit they were both last season, but in less minutes than he's even getting as of right now. I mentioned his minutes and the rest of the Heat minutes are kind of fluctuating, right? 2 times ago, when he played 25 minutes of play, 4 threes, and that was on 7 attempts. He shot 57%. Same exact percentage, same amount of attempts the next time he played them in less minutes, 21.6 minutes. You look at what he's been playing on the season, minutes-wise, he's averaging 23 minutes. So right in the, I guess you could say the median, the mean of those two. Over the last 10 games, that minutes number even looks better. So 23 in the entire season, 25 plus in the last 10. You look at it from a last 5 perspective, it's at 25 as well. So this is a guy that's obviously playing more and more recently than he was in the season. Now, I've mentioned it even with the Terry Rozier, these Heat minutes are very, very hard to judge. You don't have trouble judging Tyler Hero's minutes, right? And this should be the easiest part of the same game parlay. Looking at Tyler Hero 2+ threes, I really feel like I shouldn't even need to explain it. He's going to lead the team in 3-point attempts and all that. His normal line, I believe, is 3.5. Do I hate that? No, I do think Duncan Robinson might be the more like diamond in the rough type spot here. But if you're looking for another one that, okay, well, I don't want to roll the same game parlay. I don't like the amount of juice we're paying. I know it's more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Yes, you could look at Tyler Hero on his own as well. He's going to fire him up there, and he's obviously the best, probably one to take in terms of if you want to guarantee that volume, right? So again, this is a SGP Hero and Duncan Robinson, both to get us at least 2, Terzier to get us at least 1, obviously targeting the perimeter of that Hawks squad. All right, now this is the last official one that we have, and then I do have one more play that, again, I'll talk about. I'll put it in the post with the Guy Boston Sports post if we do end up rolling with it. I'll talk about that afterwards, but we're still waiting on injuries in that game. But before we do get into that, Jalen Duren, this is the third play that I like. You can get this at 20.5 for really good odds as of right now. I'm looking at 19.5. Just go get me 20 points plus rebounds against this Denver team. Jalen Duren has been up and down, obviously, all season long. Now, he's a good player. I don't think anyone would deny that, right? He's young. He's a beast. But he's so matchup dependent, and this is actually weirdly enough a good matchup for him. You think about Denver, and you're like, oh well, this is a Denver squad that has Jokic down there, and blah blah blah, and it's like yes, Denver is in theory a good team. But where you can look at Denver is their defenses here. Their defense has not been all that great. They've actually been a decent offense, but this is not the same Denver defense that we know and love in a sense, and overall. And again, points in the paint, they've been better as of late, so that's kind of what worries me. So points in the paint allowed, which is obviously where Duren is going to do his offensive damage. He's not going to be hucking up threes, but points in the paint, they've been way better. Fourth fewest in terms of the last 3 games, but that was against Phoenix, and they were 2 of those games. Phoenix is a 3-point team as of right now, you know what I mean? And then they played Cleveland, and obviously Cleveland took it to them. But overall, this is a Denver team that most likely is going to elect to try and take it down into the paint, if not more, but just as much as looking at trying to shoot it from three. And what I also like about his rebound spot here is, well, first off, Denver last 7 games here, 20th in terms of preventing points to centers, 20th in terms of points, rebounds. They're obviously a good rebounding team, but Denver is barely shooting the three ball as of late. Okay, what I like about that is guys that get into the paint or even from mid range or the restricted area, all of that, guys that get into the paint and try and score that way, often those rebounds are not the ones that clang off the rim and bounce out to the foul line extended or the short corner or anything like that. Those are balls that sort of roll off the rim and are little bounces off the rim, which the centers and the opposing centers often do end up getting. So I feel like the shot selection from Denver really, really favors the idea of Jalen Durham being able to grab some boards today. So I've kicked around the idea of a double-double from him as well. Problem is, he's so physically able to get a double-double every single game, but he can get in foul trouble. Sometimes it doesn't even seem like he's down there trying to get rebounds, so that gets a little dicey. But I do like his spot, both to score, but then to be able to get more rebounds than maybe even just hit his rebound line in general, which would be double-digit rebounds. So yeah, now that I'm even saying it out loud, I could think about maybe putting a little bit of extra sprinkling on a double-double, which I think is plus 165 for him today. So keep an eye down on the final plays. Obviously, what we're going through here are spots that I like, but I want to make sure that we have the injury reports updated and all of that good stuff as well, right? Guys, if you made it this far into the video, before we talk about one more lean that I have, go ahead and comment 11. Let me know that you made it 11 minutes in. That literally means so much because obviously the videos are less quality. I mean, the lighting is different here and all that, right? But I truly do appreciate it if you're still rocking with me while we're on the road, because obviously being on the West Coast and stuff's a little bit different, but still trying to get these out and grind for you guys. But all right, let's talk about the last one here. So the last play that I'm thinking about, we have no idea what the line is right now, but it's a positional play in a kind of a based on the shooting zone spot that I like, but it's going to be targeting Paul George, most likely targeting his points slash 3-pointers. Again, no lines as of right now, but he's playing Utah. Utah allows tons and tons of points from three, and Paul George playing the small forward position. We look at Utah over the last 7 games, second most points allowed to the small forward position, and nobody in the league over the last week or 7 games has allowed more 3-pointers to the power forward position. And then on the season, they've allowed the second most points. We already talked about one team that has more points from three reined in on them, right? The Hawks. So we're just targeting the next worst team here. And I think Paul George, especially if Joel Embiid does not play, I think this could be a good spot for Paul George. We don't know what the line is, so make sure to keep an eye down on the pinned comment. And if you're listening to this, good for you, because I don't have it on the screen or anything because it is just a lean right now. So some people that are just skipping through looking at the video and all that, they're not going to hear or see this, nor would they have heard the Brook Lopez spot either, so or the Jalen Duren double-double. So yeah, getting a little tricky out there. The guppies don't get to see it. Real ones are listening to it. So I do appreciate it. But guys, yeah, those 3 main plays are most likely already locked in and whatnot. I'll put them in the final plays when we do, again, down in the pinned comment. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in, and that's all I got for you today. Apologies that this is a little bit later, but again, I am 3 hours behind normal, and just it is what it is. Can't change the time zones, but do appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.